All right guys, welcome back. In this video, I wanted to do a 6-month update of my Hackmotion wrist sensor. You may have seen my initial review of this thing where I did kind of a thorough overview of the app and the sensor itself. But at that time, I really had only had it for a few weeks. And so in this video, I want to kind of give you an update as to whether it's actually helped my game or not. All right, here it is, my handicap. Since I initially got the Hackmotion, roughly around April, my handicap was 7.7. But as you can see, I have improved now to the time of making this video down to 4.5. So my improvement has been over 3 strokes, which is pretty impressive. I also, fortunately, use Arcos sensors in my club so we can look at some strokes gained numbers. So here, if you look at my Arcos trend analysis, and we're just looking at strokes gained approach, you can see that graph over the last 25 rounds is going up and to the right, which is my strokes gained versus an average 5 handicap player. So we've seen my approach game improve, we've seen better greens in regulation, and it's showing up in my handicap. And it's all basically around the same time period I've started working with the Hackmotion. So in this video, I'm going to give you kind of the keys to working with this device that I found for myself, and hopefully it is informative for you. Now, if you don't make it any further in the video, I do have a discount code available for Hackmotion. That code is friendly5, and you can find that code down in the video description, and I'll pin it in the comments. Now, if we go into the Hackmotion app, I'm going to go into my initial practices with the app, one of the first ones, and we can see here that I've got a lot of yellow. So this is kind of showing you where I was at in the beginning, and you can see address and position at the top, not too bad, lots of green, but you can see my impact is generally all yellow. And so it's not like I could take it out of the package and initially get in those ranges that I needed to be at impact. So one of the first keys for me was actually just focusing on getting a green impact score and not worrying about the golf shot at all. So what do I mean by that? Essentially, I was trying to hit the golf ball and get that green impact score and hit the golf ball like a normal shot, and just couldn't get there. And so I actually told myself, you know what, if I got to this wrist position that I think it wants me to get into at impact, I feel like it would just be a low hook, like low duck hook. And so what I decided to do was actually just try and get into that impact position with my wrist how I think it wanted me to, and forget about the golf ball. And I just said, I'm going to hit a low hook, as low as possible, and all I was worrying about was actually getting into that position. So I was actually standing over the golf ball saying, okay, low hook, and doing that. But once I started doing that, I could get it into the green at impact. And from there, I was able to straighten the golf ball out. But I could not get into green with actually trying to hit a good golf shot and get in those wrist positions. You can see you can just get a little bit straighter and straighter as you go, but you won't get that feel unless, for me at least, I was hitting those low hooks with flexion in my wrist. So that was a big, big key for me in figuring out how to make some improvement. Let's actually start a practice so I can demonstrate some of this stuff. I'll go ahead and recalibrate. There we go. And our impact is in the green. Now from there, once you've got that feel in the wrist of where impact should be, what a green impact should be, You can then try and straighten out the golf shot with your club path and your body, your shoulders, all those things, but keep that feeling in the wrist. And there we go. We got a green impact and a straight shot. But I could not figure out how to get that feeling of impact without first hitting a bunch of those low hooks. And so if you're struggling with that, keep that in mind. Maybe just worry about the feeling in your wrist and then let the rest of your body, club path, whatever, straighten it out later on once you've felt how it's supposed to feel. Now, another key for me with using the Hackmotion was diving a little bit deeper and not just focusing on these, green, yellow, red cards up here for address, top, impact, but actually looking at the graph. So if we look at the graph here, you can see these top and impact ranges that you're supposed to be in. I never really had a problem with the top range, but at impact, even with that shot, I mean, it was in the green, but you can see it just barely dipped into the green. And so I was getting a lot of impacts in the yellow where they were just at the top of that green bar. And so I'm like, okay, it's not like I'm missing it a little bit. There's a huge range of green underneath. So I can really rev that motorcycle with my wrist and still be in the green. So I started paying attention to the graph, and that let me just go a little bit even more extreme. And see, even that one, I really tried to rev it, and I'm still just at the top of that green. And so, I don't know, just seeing that entire range on the graph really helped me push it even farther. The other thing with the graph is you can see your extension or flexion through the entire swing. So you can see this one it's funny from day to day how much it changes for me. A lot of times I'll actually go into flexion on the backswing, like the takeaway. Here I'm not, which I think is better, but I don't know. It can kind of, whoops, that was actually a misread there. But it can kind of give you a full picture of the swing and your sequence with your wrist there. So definitely take a look at the graph. Now let me just hit another shot to get this misread off of the graph. And here's our graph again, but I can turn on the benchmark, and you see the dotted line is the benchmark of, I don't know if it's a pro or what, but it kind of shows you a more typical swing compared to yours, which can be helpful. Now, I didn't just only start using Hackmotion and improve 3 strokes in my handicap. Of course, there were a number of things. I do take lessons off and on, but actually one thing that came through from a lesson also really helped with this, and it was around the same time. And it also helped improve the flipping, and that was one thing, which was to kind of do an abbreviated follow through. So I used to really finish up here, and we tried just a abrupt stop of the follow through, and that really helped connect my arms and wrists through impact, and that is now my normal follow through. Okay, and it just, you can see, to get up here, you've really got to release the wrists and swing. But now my follow through hopefully is more like this. A little more of a Tommy Fleetwood look, and that really helped. Now, I will say that I have not been a power user of Hackmotion, okay? I really don't look at it that often. But what's helped is, initially, I did do several practice sessions of it, 1 or 2 a week for the first month or so, until I actually figured out how to get in these green positions. From then on out, I didn't really need to do it again or continue at that pace. I could already see a massive difference in my ball striking, and I had a good feel for where the wrist should be. But from time to time, I could start feeling it slipping. And so what I would do is I would just say, hey, I need a Hackmotion session. I'd put it on, I'd do about 20 or 30 minutes, and I could tell right from the start that, well, yeah, I'm not where I should be. I'd get it corrected, and then that one session would keep me going. So in the beginning, I was doing, 1 or 2 sessions a week for the first month, but then after that, I mean, it has fallen down to 1 or 2 sessions a month. And even right now, as I'm making this video, I felt my wrist starting to slip, or my impact position starting to slip and get out of where it should be. So I actually do need to work on this right now. But that's kind of how I've found it useful. It's not something you have to do constantly, maybe in the beginning, but once you get it there, it can kind of be a maintenance tool, which is how I'm using it now. You can see with this practice, we were just making the video, but I typically do get a lot of inside takeaway warnings, like you can see here. And for the most part, if I'm green at impact, I'm ignoring the takeaway stuff, okay? Takeaway is whatever it is, but if I'm green at impact, I don't care. And so I have not paid attention to any of the takeaway stuff, takeaway drills whatsoever. But like I said, I just have not been a power user, and I'm getting good results. Let's just see what kind of sessions I have. So here, these are from the last few days, but we'll go back to when I first got it. So you can see end of April is when I first got it, did a couple. You can see May, did quite a few sessions preparing for making that video, the first review video. Really nothing in June. 3 in July, looks like 5 or 6 in August, 2 in September, 1 in October, and here we are. So you can see I have not been a power user, but you saw the results for yourselves, and it has been ball striking that has improved a lot for me. But here's what I would tell you if you're thinking about getting it. It is a tool like anything else. It will not do all the work for you, okay? You kind of have to figure things out on your own still. But in my review video, you can see I really compared this to having a launch monitor, okay? It will give you data back. It's up to you what you do with that. There are built-in drills that it recommends to you and it shows you, but they're very limited, okay? It's like a 60-second video. You can try it out. And yes, you've got great drills that are built into working with the Hackmotion, so you can really do that motorcycle drill without hitting a ball. All of that is great, but sometimes one drill doesn't click for everybody. And for the most part, there's just a handful of drills in there. So, like I said, for me, I really found that, hey, just get into that position, don't worry about the ball, and then work backwards from there. That worked for me, might not work for everybody else. So I would say you need a decent kind of golf swing IQ to be able to figure things out on your own and make improvements. But the reason that Hackmotion is worth it is because you get that data. And without that, you can't work. You're just kind of guessing. It's really, really hard to figure out if you have correct wrist angles at impact, even if you're on a slow motion camera, which I have here. All I can do is kind of eyeball it, and a lot of times it looks good, but I don't get that data back to within 1 degree of flexion or extension. So getting those numbers really helps me get specific and see real-time kind of feedback. So that's it, guys. Just a quick 6-month update for you with the Hackmotion. I'm loving it. It's helped my game tremendously. I hope if it's right for you, it will help you as well. And don't forget, I do have a discount code for you down in the video description, and I'll pin it to the comments as well. What's next for me? I am going to upgrade to the Pro version. So I've only been using the Hackmotion Core version. They do have a Plus and a Pro version. There are additional features with those upgraded versions. The thing I'm most interested in with the Pro version is that it does have swing tempo built into it. And tempo is something that I have found, one, that I really struggle with, and two, whenever I work on it and get the correct tempo, it makes my golf shots significantly better. It kind of takes those really, really bad shots out of play. I don't know, I don't have that yet, but I'll upgrade to the pro level and maybe we will do another update in another few months. So guys, hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.